been, if I'm honest, a very challenging year.
Yes.
Full of very convoluted feelings and conflicting emotions where sometimes I'm just really joyous and happy, and then other times I'm really angry and sad.
My mom gets called a. They say that she's money hungry. They say that she needs more fame. My mom doesn't, that's not how my mom is.
There is one book that we are not reading in 2025, and it is Allison Holker's memoir and her love letter to her late husband, Stephen Twitch Boss. Because what do you mean that you went into his private journals you never read when he was alive?
It's been, if I'm honest, a very challenging year, yes, full of very convoluted feelings and conflicting emotions where sometimes I'm just really joyous and happy, and then other times I'm really angry and sad. My mom gets called a. They say that she's money hungry. They say that she needs more fame. My mom doesn't like. That's not how my mom is. There is one book that we are not reading in 2025, and it is Allison Holker's memoir and her love letter to her late husband Stephen Twitch Boss. Because what do you mean that you went into his private journals you never read when he was alive? Twitch's story just took a wild turn after leaked footage, suspicious behavior and shady moves have people pointing fingers at his wife Allison Holker, from Demise at his funeral to her sketchy actions right after his passing. It's looking like this isn't just grief, it's a whole conspiracy, and if that wasn't enough, people are starting to wonder if Twitch's demise was more about her bank account than anything else. Let's break it all the way down. The NDA scandal, a greedy move. All this started with Allison Holker's decision to slap Demise on Twitch's family before they could even attend his funeral. Allegedly, these non-disclosure agreements weren't just about privacy, they were designed to control the narrative and, more importantly, the money. According to reports, Allison made Twitch's family sign deals that prevented them from profiting off his name, legacy, or any media projects tied to his life story. This wasn't just a don't speak to the press kind of deal. If his family earned even a penny from interviews, books or articles about Twitch, the terms required them to hand over the money to Allison whether or not she did order to not find something in the closet. It was not her place to share those details about him profiting from Twitch's legacy. What makes this even messier is that Allison didn't stop at controlling Twitch's family, she went all in on profiting from his legacy herself. While she claims 100% of the proceeds from her memoir will go to the move with foundation, people aren't buying it. Twitch's family has accused her of tarnishing his memory with false claims, including allegations that she found substances belonging to him after his passing, were cleaning out the closet and picking out an outfit for him for the funeral. And it was a really triggering moment for me because there was a lot of things I discovered in our closet that I did not know existed. It's hard not to see a pattern here, from Demise to questionable narratives. Allison's every move seems to revolve around her security, financial control. The family is now calling her a money-hungry opportunist who's exploiting Twitch's tragic passing for her own gain, tarnishing Twitch's legacy. The NDA fiasco was just the tip of the iceberg. Twitch's family has been vocal about how Allison's actions have negatively impacted his legacy. By forcing them into silence, she's not only isolated them but also ensured she remains the sole voice shaping how Twitch is remembered. Her memoir, which supposedly paints Twitch in a negative light, has been particularly controversial. Critics argue that she's more focused on rewriting history to suit her narrative than honoring the man. Twitch truly was a kind, loving and talented individual. I started jotting things down, but it is interesting when you're on this healing journey, and the journey that I've been on is things were being discovered, or new things, or I was having new aha moments. So I would be writing this book and then have to be like, wait, go back, this is different for me now. Twitch's mother fires back at Allison's claims, and it's not just fans and CR who are calling Allison out. Twitch's own mother, Connie Boss Alexander, has officially stepped in to defend her son's legacy following the uproar over Allison's memoir, and then Connie took to Instagram with a heartfelt and firm response, making it clear that she's had enough. Twitch's own family is coming out to slam her in these revelations, and also talking about how she made the entire family, including Twitch's mom, sign an NDA so she could keep all of the details for this. Representing the Boss family, Connie expressed her outrage over what she described as misleading and hurtful claims being spread about Twitch. While she didn't name Allison directly, the message was loud and clear: the family feels these allegations are tarnishing Twitch's memory in the worst way. In her emotional post, she stated, "Our family is Absolutely appalled by the misleading and hurtful claims made about my son Stephen Boss for Connie. The idea that Twitch's struggles are being sensationalized for public gain crosses every line of decency. It's a direct challenge to Allison's portrayal of events and a plea to honor Twitch's legacy without any false claims. The real intentions behind the NDAs. Here's where it gets really shady. NDAs are typically used to protect sensitive information, but in this case it feels like a power move to block Twitch's family from speaking their truth. The timing is also suspect. Why would you need NDAs at a funeral unless there's something you don't want people to find out? According to Allison, the NDAs were about maintaining Stephen Twitch Boss's privacy and dignity. She claims that Twitch's family wanted to invite numerous people to the open casket portion of the funeral, many of whom she didn't know, to minimize the risk of photos or videos leaking to the media. She reduced the guest list to just 13 people and implemented strict rules. I couldn't risk any photo getting leaked to the press or splashed across social media platforms and becoming the lasting image that people would have of him, she explained. She also added that her primary concern was her children, saying, "My children absolutely positively could not stumble upon such a photograph at some later date." Allison says her lawyers advised her to require NDAs from everyone attending the funeral, which understandably frustrated Twitch's family. "If we have to sign NDAs," they reportedly said, "then everybody has to sign NDAs." To that, Allison replied, "No problem." While Allison frames her decision as an effort to protect her family, critics argue it feels like overreach. Her reasoning might sound convincing on the surface, but when paired with the financial clauses in the NDAs it raises serious questions. If she truly wanted to protect Twitch's legacy, why not let his family share their memories and stories instead? She's painted herself as the gatekeeper, deciding who gets to speak and profit from his name. But Allison isn't staying quiet. Amid the backlash taking to her Instagram stories, she defended her decisions and the claims she made in her book. She wrote to fans of Stephen and our family and friends, "I want to be clear that my only intention in writing the book is to share my own story as well as part of my life with Stephen to help other people." Allison further explained that she's still trying to make sense of what happened, adding, "Just like you, I never really knew what happened, and even as I am trying to put the pieces together, I will never really know." While Allison's words may sound heartfelt to some, most people aren't convinced. Leaked call from Twitch's brother. One of the most damning pieces of evidence comes from a leaked audio recording shared by one of Twitch's siblings. In the recording, Allison Holkier can be heard justifying her decision to make Twitch's mother sign a non-disclosure agreement before viewing his body. "You realize that Stephen left, so when you say what you mean st left, on what do you mean st left? Would want the family to see his kids. He could have stayed. Don't say that. Help. Don't say that. Don't say that. Yes, no, I am allowed to know. You ain't allowed to say no stupid like that. You ain't allowed to say no stupid like that, man. What you, he could have stayed." In the clip, the sibling questions Holkier, asking if she truly thought it was appropriate to require Twitch's grieving mother to sign an NDA just to say goodbye. Hooker's response was chillingly matter-of-fact, "And I would do it again every single day for the rest of my life if I needed to." This wasn't where it stopped either. Holkier went on to defend her actions by claiming that Twitch's mother had previously signed NDAs to attend events, as if that made the situation normal. She reportedly said it wasn't unusual. She signed ND before to come to parties, so why not for this control or grief? Twitch's sibling didn't hold back during the call, accusing Holkier of disrespecting their family and using the NDAs as a way to control the narrative. They also suggested that Allison's actions seemed more about protecting herself than honoring Twitch or his family, and honestly, it's hard not to agree. The idea that Holkier compared signing an NDA to attend a party with signing one to view a loved one's body feels not only cold, but calculated. The bang bang revelation. Here's where the story takes a chilling turn. Twitch's friends and family are now pointing out something that raises even more suspicion. The weapon used in his tragic passing might have actually belonged to Allison. That detail alone has people questioning everything, and if that wasn't enough, rumors are swirling that Twitch wasn't the one dealing with substance issues. It was Allison all along. But the plot thickens after Twitch's sudden death. Reports claimed he left behind a note, a piece of paper that could have provided clarity, closure, or even answers, yet somehow that note has vanished into thin air. Nobody seems to know what happened to it, leaving Twitch's loved ones and the public with even more questions. Even a lot of people knew him. Was Twitch very two different humans? He wore this character of Twitch. It did become a part of who he was, but that extroverted personality was not natural for him. And then there's Allison's behavior after the tragedy. While she claimed to have been unaware of Twitch's whereabouts for hours, her actions spoke differently. She quickly changed her social